Ferrari just revealed a technical revolution that has left Lewis Hamilton absolutely shocked. Nobody in the paddock saw this coming, and the reaction across Formula One has been nothing short of explosive. The big question now is simple but massive. Could this be the move that finally delivers Hamilton his long-awaited 8th World Championship, or is it just another classic Ferrari blunder waiting to unfold? What I'm about to tell you isn't being talked about enough, but it has the power to completely change the way we see Ferrari, Hamilton, and the future of Formula One in 2026. If you think you've heard it all about Ferrari's plans, trust me, you haven't. This story could flip the entire F1 narrative on its head. So before we dive into the details of this insane restructuring, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because what comes next might be the most important twist in Ferrari's history. But to understand why this new announcement is so shocking, we first need to look back at the brutal reality of 2025. Ferrari's season with the SF25 was nothing short of a nightmare. On paper, the car looked like it could finally bring the team back to glory, but in reality, it turned into a complete disaster. Ferrari had put all their faith into a risky low-ride height philosophy that looked great in the simulator, but collapsed the moment it hit real tracks. And when the FIA tightened the rules on skid block wear and ground effect exploitation, that gamble backfired instantly. What seemed like a clever shortcut quickly exposed Ferrari's biggest weaknesses. The result was painful to watch. Instead of battling for wins, Lewis Hamilton found himself struggling in the midfield, often fighting just to hold on to P8. The contrast couldn't have been more brutal. While Hamilton was stuck in a broken Ferrari, Carlos Sainz, the very driver Ferrari let go, was celebrating on the podium with Williams. It wasn't just a tough season, it was the kind of humiliation that reminded everyone of Ferrari's long line of broken promises. This wasn't bad luck. This was a Ferrari 2025 disaster, a technical failure that left Hamilton's dream start with the Scuderia in pieces and raised serious doubts about whether this partnership could ever work. And the deeper you look into the SF25, the clearer it becomes that Ferrari's problems weren't just unlucky, they were built into the car from the start. The suspension package was the perfect symbol of confusion inside Maranello. At the front, Ferrari went with a conservative pull rod design, but at the rear they took an overly aggressive approach. The two concepts didn't work together, and instead of balance and stability, the car delivered the worst of both worlds. That mismatch created massive instability under braking. And for a driver like Lewis Hamilton, who has built his career on confidence in those moments, it was torture. The inconsistency was just as bad. Ferrari could look strong on Friday during practice, giving Hamilton flashes of hope, but by Sunday everything fell apart. The car would slide out of its narrow performance window and collapse into the midfield. It was the kind of unpredictability that no driver can live with, and Hamilton made sure the world knew it. His frustrated radio message, where he admitted he couldn't care less about P8, wasn't just a moment of emotion. It was a 7-time world champion publicly calling out Ferrari's broken technical structure. The suspension problems, the unreliable aerodynamics, the car peaking one day and vanishing the next. It all painted the same picture. Ferrari's 2025 wasn't just about losing races. It was about exposing the fact that their entire way of building cars had failed. But instead of brushing this disaster under the rug, or promising to simply do better next year, Ferrari shocked everyone with a move nobody expected. They didn't just shuffle a few engineers or make small adjustments, they ripped apart their entire technical structure and started from scratch. What they've announced is nothing less than a revolution inside Maranello. For years, Ferrari operated under a horizontal management style, spreading responsibility so wide that no one ever seemed fully accountable. That approach has now been thrown out completely. In its place comes a bold new system where power is fully centralized under Fred Vasseur himself. Every critical decision about the car, every technical call for the future, now runs directly through his desk. This isn't just another Ferrari shake-up, it's a complete restructuring aimed at finally ending years of chaos and indecision. Ferrari restructuring 2026 is more than a headline. It's a gamble that could either save the Scuderia or sink it even further. And with Fred Vasseur taking personal control, the message is loud and clear. Ferrari are done playing it safe. And this is where Ferrari's announcement takes things to an entirely new level. Alongside the restructuring, they've unveiled a hand-picked technical dream team that is meant to fix every weakness that destroyed the SF25. At the top of the list is Loic Serra, a former Mercedes expert with years of experience in suspension and tyre behaviour. His mission is crystal clear: completely rebuild Ferrari's suspension philosophy from the ground up. No more mismatched designs, no more instability under braking. For Lewis Hamilton, who thrives on trust and confidence when he slams the brakes into a corner, Serra's influence could be game-changing. Then there's Diego Tondi, Ferrari's new aerodynamics boss. His task is to finally give Ferrari a car with consistent, predictable downforce across every circuit on the calendar. No more false promises in the simulator, no more sudden collapses on race day. Under the 2026 regulations, where aero efficiency will be crucial, Tondi's role might decide whether Ferrari fights for titles or drifts back into mediocrity. And perhaps the most overlooked but vital piece of this puzzle is the integration role, handled by Frank Sanchez. His job is to ensure that the suspension, aerodynamics, and power unit don't function as separate projects, but as one single, unified machine. This is exactly where Ferrari failed with the SF25, and Sanchez's task is to make sure Hamilton never again drives a car that feels like it's fighting itself. Together, this trio represents Ferrari's most ambitious technical team in decades, and for the first time in years, it feels like there's a clear plan. If they succeed, Hamilton could finally have the stable, predictable platform he needs to unleash his true speed. Ferrari's new technical team isn't just about fixing problems, it's about building a future where Hamilton can finally fight for the championship in red. For Hamilton, hearing about this massive overhaul must have felt like a strange sense of déjà vu. Back at Mercedes, he worked within an integrated system where every department clicked together like clockwork, producing cars that were fast, balanced, and unstoppable. That was the kind of structure he expected when he took the gamble of joining Ferrari. He didn't come to Maranello just to drive in red. He came to bring order, to lift the Scuderia back to the top, and to prove he could win where so many legends had failed. Instead, what he found in 2025 was chaos, confusion, and a car that constantly let him down. Now, as Ferrari tears apart their old ways and rebuilds everything under this new radical system, Hamilton finds himself right in the middle of the biggest gamble of his career. It's either going to give him the tools to finally claim that elusive 8th title, or it could turn into another painful chapter of missed opportunities. Hamilton shocked Ferrari. 2026 isn't just a headline, it's the reality of a champion watching his fate tied to a team known for breaking promises. And while the new technical team looks impressive on paper, the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about Ferrari's redemption, it's about whether Hamilton's gamble pays off or becomes the risk that defines the end of his career. All of this comes at the perfect time, because 2026 isn't just another season. It's a complete reset of the Formula One world. The new regulations will change everything about how cars are designed and raced, giving every team a rare chance to start fresh. For Ferrari, this is a golden window of opportunity, but it's also the most dangerous moment in years. Their rivals are each facing their own challenges. Red Bull, the dominant force of the current era, is suddenly facing internal uncertainty with questions about leadership and stability. Mercedes is taking a bold risk by betting everything on youth, pairing Russell with teenage sensation Andrea Kimi Antonelli, hoping that raw talent can carry them into a new era. McLaren, on the other hand, looks strong right now, but no one knows if their current edge will hold under the Formula One 2026 regulations. That leaves Ferrari with a rare chance to rise from the chaos and put themselves at the very front. But this is truly make or break. If they seize it, Ferrari versus Red Bull 2026 could finally be the battle fans have been waiting for. If they fail, it won't just be another lost season. It could destroy Hamilton's dream and cement Ferrari's reputation as a team that collapses under pressure. But while 2026 opens the door to glory, it also brings a storm of pressure that only Ferrari can truly understand. The Tifosi, the most passionate and demanding fans in Formula One, have lived through years of Ferrari promises broken, and they are running out of patience. Every failed upgrade, every missed opportunity has added to the weight on Maranello's shoulders. For Lewis Hamilton, This isn't just about another race or another season. His entire legacy at Ferrari depends on this moment, because his dream of a record-breaking 8th championship now rides on whether the Scuderia can finally deliver. If Ferrari collapse again, Hamilton's move could go down as the biggest gamble of his career, remembered not for glory, but for disappointment. And it's not just Hamilton. Fred Vasseur has staked his entire future on this project. The Frenchman has reshaped Ferrari from the ground up, but if the 2026 gamble fails, his career at Maranello could end in disaster. The Tifosi pressure, the Hamilton legacy Ferrari story, and the Fred Vasseur Ferrari gamble are all colliding in one defining moment that will decide whether Ferrari rise again or fade deeper into their own shadows. And so, everything builds to the ultimate question: will Ferrari's insane new technical team finally deliver a car worthy of Lewis Hamilton's talent? The 2026 season isn't just another year on the calendar. It's the moment that could either end Ferrari's long drought or prove to be yet another Ferrari false dawn. Fans are holding their breath, because this gamble could shape the future of Formula One itself. Will Hamilton's Ferrari gamble give him the historic 8th title he has chased for so long? Or will it turn into the story of Hamilton-Ferrari failure, remembered as a dream that crumbled under pressure? Ferrari now stand on a knife's edge, and only time will reveal if 2026 marks the birth of a new Ferrari dynasty or the collapse of their most ambitious rebuild in decades. So now, it all comes down to this. Do you think Ferrari's radical restructuring will finally pay off? Or is Hamilton doomed to face another heartbreaking season? Could 2026 be the year where Ferrari rise back to glory? Or will history repeat itself once again? I'd love to hear what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and make sure to subscribe, because the Formula One drama we're heading into for 2026 is going to be absolutely wild.